Behind me is the Origin Pro Hybrid Mattress, the UK's most award-winning mattress, or so they say. Today we're going to put this mattress through a gauntlet and review it across 5 distinct categories to let you know if this mattress is worth a buy or better off left in this review. Let's get going right now. First up is comfort, and you'd think that this would be the easiest category, but this is actually one of the most complex things about the Origin mattress, and that is their comfort and the way that they're achieving it. You see, most mattresses out on the market are only going to use about 1, maybe 2 different configurations of comfort materials in their mattress, and they're pretty standard stuff. You're either going to get a memory foam or all-natural material, or a latex, which is an all-natural material that's been processed. This bed here is using 4 different materials, and one of those is completely unique to them. I haven't seen anything else like it out on the market. The very top of this mattress has a layer of graphite-infused latex. It's just like every other latex you've ever tried, except it's infused with graphite. That's a common thing done in memory foam, but I haven't really seen it in latex before. Now, in memory foam, they do it because graphite is a naturally conductive material, which means it pulls heat away from things that are in contact with it, such as your body. And the story is no different here. This mattress is really cold, not only because of the graphite latex, but because of the cover as well. But we'll get into that in the temperature regulation section. This latex is bouncy, it's buoyant, it pushes back, and that's because it's a positive resistance material, just like the layer beneath it. Positive resistance material. You might be asking, what the heck is that? A positive resistance material is a material that pushes back when you lay on it. So it's often more supportive, but a little bit less forgiving in terms of pressure relief. Memory foam is the opposite, by the way, of a positive resistance foam. It's a negative resistance foam, meaning that the memory foam compresses until it reaches its state of equilibrium. This bed here, top 2 layers are positive resistance, which means it pushes back up. Just beneath that latex, you have their proprietary hex grid technology. And in this bed, you actually get the Hex Grid Plus, whatever that means, right? Really, what this material is a polymer and gel-infused layer. Think maybe Jell-O, but doesn't break down as fast. We've seen things like this in Purple mattresses. They're using a polymer-based grid in theirs as well. This, though, instead of being a grid with a checkered board structure, this is a complete layer with cutouts in a hexagonal shape that compress more or less depending on where your pressure is. What does all that translate to? Well, it translates to a bed that 1 is super, super cool because it's a polymer, but 2, it feels really, really supportive and nice for the body as well. Again, it's positive resistance, which means it is bouncy. This is a bouncy bed, and that's no surprise given what this material is. In terms of pressure relief, they say this is 3 times more pressure relieving than, well, I don't know what they're comparing it to. I can't even find it on their website, but I will tell you, if it's 3 times more pressure relieving than the material that they had in their original hex grid material, I wouldn't want to sleep on that bed because this thing is not super pressure relieving, and that's where the real conversation about comfort comes in. This is a medium firm mattress, and don't let them fool you. They say, hey, it's a medium firm with a plush top, and yeah, the top is a little bit soft, but when I laid on this mattress on my side, which is how I sleep, after about 4 or 5 minutes, I did notice my circulation begin to get cut off, and that's not a good sign. Yes, this bed does feel phenomenal on my back. It did, and it actually felt pretty good on my side too. But circulation getting cut off is a telltale sign that either I have a health condition, which other mattresses I've tested recently haven't done that to me, or the bed is just not offering enough pressure relief for my body, and I'm guessing that it is definitely the latter here. And by the way, I don't think this is a surprise to Origin either, because everything they're doing beneath that layer of hex grid is designed to offer more pressure relief. I can tell that they're really trying here. Just beneath the layer of hex grid, you have a layer of microcoils, and what those do is they offer targeted support and pressure relief where you need. Any bed that's using microcoils, it's always a plus because that coil has a really nice spring rate, and if it's put low enough in the mattress, it's going to do a lot to basically just help your spine level out much better and give targeted support. Good on them for putting that in this bed, especially at this price point. It's kind of shocking. Beneath that, you do have a layer of comfort foam. Comfort foam is a polyurethane-based foam. It is a cheaper foam that goes into a lot of budget mattresses, and I've even seen it in some high-end. And it ranges anywhere from piece of garbage to pretty decent. You can get away with a layer of it. The comfort foam that they're using here is a standard affair. It's not the worst foam I've seen on the market. It's not the best foam either. But also, I wasn't expecting the best foam given the price point that we're talking about here. Oh, the wool. I forgot the wool. Right beneath the hex grid layer is a layer of wool, which is great because wool is one of the best natural materials for temperature regulation out on the market. And then beneath the foam, you actually have a double bound layer of coils. And the reason companies do that is often if our mattress is too firm up top, we're gonna add 2 layers of coils. I don't know where to show you guys, maybe over here, I don't know. Either way, you got it. We're gonna add 2 layers of coils so that way they can continue to mold your body a little bit better, which is gonna give you still good support, and they can give you better pressure relief. So Origin's doing a lot in this bed to give enough pressure relief, but I think that the problem actually is that hex grid layer in the bed is just really, really firm overall. It's probably more pressure relieving than what they said they had in the past, but overall, this bed is definitely a medium firm, skewing a little bit more towards firm. And if you are a side sleeper, especially a mid-size or below, for reference, I weigh about 170 pounds, or for my UK friends, that's about 77 kilos. So by my standards at least, I'm a mid-size side sleeper, and this bed is not giving me enough pressure relief. So I'd say if that was you, be careful, because on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of comfort, with 1 being the softest and 10 being the firmest, we rate this bed at a 7, and that's pretty firm. That's really firm for a bed in a box. But if you're a stomach sleeper, if you're a back sleeper, you're gonna love this mattress in terms of comfort. I really, really liked this mattress on my back, and if I could sleep on my back, I'd be happy with it. So overall, of course, comfort is very subjective. For side sleepers, I would rate this at a 6 out of 10 in comfort. And for stomach and back sleepers, I'd rate it at about an 8.5 out of 10. So depending on how you sleep, that might already make your decision on if this is the right pick for you or not. But there's still more categories to talk about. And that brings us to temperature regulation. This is by far the coldest mattress in a box that I have ever laid on. This thing is frigid. This is very comparable to Tempur-Pedic Luxe Breeze when you first get in it, or Serta, they make an Arctic bed that has a lot of phase change material in it. This was a really big surprise to me because any bed can feel super, super cool when you first get on it, but within about 30 seconds, any kind of top layer cooling dissipates. Then you go on to what's called phase 2 cooling. And a lot of mattresses, almost every mattress that advertises that they are a cooling bed, by the way, doesn't have any type of solution for phase 2 cooling. The hex grid layer is absolutely what's doing this in this mattress, but the level 2 cooling is going to be for your first 5 minutes in bed, and this thing is frigid. Beyond that, it just doesn't really heat up throughout the entirety of the night. Is it going to compete though with like a Tempur-Pedic Luxe Breeze mattress? No, absolutely not. Those beds are freezing and they stay that way all night long. But is it going to keep most people very cool and help them fall asleep right away? Absolutely. This thing is really, really cold. And a big part of that is because of the top cover, but the hex grid technology is really doing all the lifting beyond the first 30 seconds because the top tensile cover is gonna finish out its job almost as soon as you lay on it. And by the way, how this works is any mattress that is cooling, like cool to the touch cover, like this is so cold it almost feels wet, by the way, which is weird, it's not wet, works based on the density of the material. So you can test this right now. If you're sitting at your desk or you have a wall nearby, go ahead and touch it. Does it feel cool? Yeah, it does. It's really interesting. Why? It's the same temperature as the room actually, but it's because the density of the materials. So it's actually gonna suck out some of the energy, meaning heat from you, and equalize in terms of temperature. And that's why it feels really cool for all about 5, 10, maybe 30 seconds, depending on what the material is, and then dissipates and goes away because you've reached a state of homeostasis. No different with this cover right here. Now, the graphite-infused latex just underneath will help out a little bit, but like we said, it's really the hex grid that's gonna be doing that, and that's because it is a polymer, so it has a slower transfer of heat from your body into it, and there's just a lot of material because it is hyper, hyper dense. Now, what does that mean if you are somebody who sleeps cold? You might not like this bed so much, but thankfully, most mattresses that are too cold can be resolved with a nice enough set of sheets and a warm comforter. Now, if you're somebody who sleeps hot and you're looking at all the different options out of the market, this is the one to go for. If you're looking at anything else, bed in a box, out on the market, 100% pick this guy. If you are okay with the firmness of this mattress and you're looking for a cooling product, you're not gonna beat the Origin. Just plain and simple. In terms of temperature regulation, we have to give this bed a 9.5 out of 10. It is absolutely phenomenal. And the only thing that I'd like to see in there to give them a little bit more of an oomph is phase change material. And we can talk about how that works in another video, but they don't have it here. And at this price point, I would be shocked if they did. It's actually really not possible to get in at this price point without sacrificing a bunch of other things. So they probably did make the right call for this mattress. Anyway, that takes us to the next category, and that is going to be motion isolation. Traditionally, Origin mattresses have done really, really poorly in terms of motion isolation. They've often been some of the bounciest mattresses out on the market, and for couples, this is a notorious problem to have. No one wants to wake up in the middle of the night because your partner is tossing and turning, especially if their mattress is too firm, by the way, or they're sleeping too hot, and then feel every single movement. You can't really do much about it if your mattress has poor motion isolation. The good news here is I think Origin has finally cracked it, and that's really surprising because with a double bound layer of coils, micro coils, and their hex grid technology, I would have expected this bed to perform just as poorly as all the previous Origin mattresses have. Thankfully, that is not the case, and that's where the layer of comfort foam and the layer of wool really do make all the difference. Wool is amazing for motion isolation, especially if it's in the deeper layers of the mattress and you have enough of it. They don't really tell us how much they have, so I don't know if this is something that will mat down over time. I would hope not, but I've only had the bed for about a week, so I can't comment on that too much. But the comfort foam, as well as the coils being individually pocketed, are making a big difference in terms of that motion isolation. You can see here, I'm tossing a bowling ball out on the bed, and the glass of water isn't really moving much. And most of the motion that you're seeing by the way, is because the cover, actually, not the mattress itself. So I've got to give it really great marks in terms of motion isolation. I was pleasantly surprised by that, and because of that, we give the bed an 8 out of 10. Next up is edge support, and this is again another area where Origin mattresses have traditionally lagged behind the competition overall. And the story's more or less the same here. While this mattress right now here in the studio is doing great, I know that it is. You can see here the edge of the mattress is supporting me really, really well. I am so concerned with the materials in this bed that over 6 months to a year, that is going to deteriorate to a point where you are scooting into the mattress a little bit. And the reason being is it's a foam encasement around the edge. Those are known to break down. And it's a double layer coil support structure. So the pros of the double layer support structure are, one, you're gonna get more targeted support for your body. It's gonna actually give you better spinal alignment and superior pressure relief compared to a single layer of coils. It is generally gonna increase the motion isolation of a bed, and it's also going to harm the support around the perimeter of the mattress, especially if you're using a foam support structure as your edge support component. And the reason being is the foam will break down over time. And in a lot of beds, that's okay because the coil is close enough that it still offers quite a bit of support right at that edge. But with a double layer of coils, when you compress them down, they're really gonna wanna compress down. And over time, that is going to make this mattress struggle on the edge support department. Now, you might say, hey, that's a little unfair. The mattress is doing great right now. And that's a very, very valid point. And I don't know for sure if that would be the case in the story here, but it's something with my knowledge and experience that I do want to warn you about, because I wouldn't be surprised if I bought this mattress, the edge support started to give out in 1 or 2 years, and then all of a sudden I'm sleeping closer. If I have a partner in that mattress, that's a bigger concern because now we have to sleep closer together, which what happens then? You get more motion isolation, you get more temperature regulation issues, and you just start hitting each other. And I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night because someone's hand just slapped my face. I don't think anyone does. Now, will it be that extreme? Probably not, but just keep in mind that you might lose a little bit of that sleep surface. So for right now, the edge support, it's like an 8.5 out of 10. I would just be wary that it would drop to about a 6 out of 10 after the first year. And that brings us to another question, which is value of the bed. Where does this bed slot in terms of value? At the time of this review, I believe a double is 689 euros. That's an absolutely incredible value for what you're getting here. Just for reference, you're competing against Emma's, more or less their entry-level bed at this price point, and you're getting a whole lot more mattress at the onset right here. But my big concern, even against the entry-level Emma mattress, is going to be durability of this bed. The double bound coils, all the pros that they give you. We talked about the negative with edge support. That's a negative on the inside as well. These mattresses have historically been known to begin to sag over time, and adding in a double bound layer of coils is concerning. Now, I will say they're titanium, which is like the best material that you could even put into a bed. So they shouldn't break down, not for at least 5 years. And they'd like you to think it's forever, but it's not. The coil tension does reduce over time, no matter what bed you have. Even with the coils being titanium, I would venture to say against a good quality standard coil that's a single layer, this bed's gonna start to sag a little bit sooner just because you have so much more going on with the compression factor. I don't know how many turns there are in each coil, which is a fancy speak for us mattress people of how many times the coil spins before it's complete inside of a pocket. More of them is more durable, less bouncy. They don't really tell us that here. They just tell us the number in them, and they tell us that it's double layer with the layer of microcoils. That's another thing. Microcoil spring rate also adjust over time, so I would be concerned that this mattress is going to get softer in all the places that you don't want it to in about 5-6 years. Now, with that being said, the average lifespan of a mattress, whether you spend $500 or $5,000, the average person's going to replace their mattress in 5 to 7 years anyway. So this mattress, for the price point that it's offering, is, in my book, a huge winner, especially if you're a solo person sleeping in this bed, and especially if you are a back sleeper. I would venture out to say anybody who's looking to spend less than 750 pounds on a bed and they want something firmer, this is gonna be the best pick for you, hands down. I would recommend this over Emma for a back sleeper that's looking for something firm. Any side sleepers, I would actually push towards Emma overall, and you can check out our review of their mattress right up here. But as far as value goes, they are adding some insane materials into this mattress. I can't believe what they have going on here, because that sounds like a $2,000 bed to me. And I'm just blown away that this thing even exists at this price point. So for value, even with the negatives taken into account, this thing is easily a 9 out of 10 in terms of value. And that brings us to our final overall thoughts. Is the Origin Pro Hybrid mattress worth your money? For any back sleeper looking for a firm mattress, especially if you sleep hot, absolutely. The only people I would recommend steer clear of this mattress entirely are smaller side sleepers and those who are much bulkier than your average person. The double bound coils, the foam edge support, any of that, if you're a larger sized person, this bed's gonna break down on you very quickly. If you're an average sized person, expect about 5 to 6 years of use out of this bed. And yes, I know they say they have a lifetime warranty. Almost everyone does. That is under a very specific set of guidelines. And in this case, as is the case for pretty much any other mattress out on the market offering a lifetime warranty, it's gonna be very, very difficult to ever meet those requirements by the nature and the way that they've constructed the bed. But still, 5 years is what you should expect out of this bed. Anything beyond that, take it as a huge win. And if you really like a firm mattress and you really like a cold mattress, you're gonna love this bed. Anyway, that's our review. My name is Ethan. Thank you for watching Sleepline. And for all things related to sleep, stick with us right here at Sleepline.